listening to Jamstalkers Play and Tell Radio,
bringing you the news and reviews of the Bay Area's local live music scene,
including the best venues, musical events, and happenings in your neighborhood.
Because remember, if you're rocking,
we're talking
and Jamstalking.
Hey everybody, it's Lisa.
And this is Kimmy. Chicken
with Jamstalkers. Really excited because we have Rudolph, can we call you Rudy?
You can.
Rudy Montana Evenhouse as our guest today.
Welcome to our show.
Thank you.
Nice to see you.
So Rudy is a filmmaker, a filmmaker, video editor, comedian, cartoonist, and musician. That's quite a combo.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And you're studying for your Associate of Arts Digital Filmmaking degree, correct?
I'm
Skyline.
I'm trying to get my film and television associates in film and television.
Excellent.
Mainly at College of San Mateo, but I'm also taking classes at Skyline.
Great.
And I'm trying to transfer to San Francisco State, where I'm considering. I haven't really made up my mind yet, but I'm considering a double major in film, cinema, and broadcasting and electronics arts, which is the Becca program at San Francisco State.
That's awesome.
What is it called?
The Becca program.
Becca program.
Yeah.
Okay. I never heard of that. That's great.
It deals with like TV, video editing, stuff like that. It's just to get you prepared for the TV industry.
I took a class there. I really like their program. It's a good program.
Is it?
Yeah.
Well, you're really getting ready because you already got a movie that you submitted to the Sacramento Film Festival.
Yeah, tell us a little bit about your movie.
Martian Odyssey, right?
All right, yeah.
Okay.
So Martian Odyssey, I devised the idea back when I was in high school. Mm-hmm. I was at Oceana in high school, and I was looking up the hills, and I was like, oh, they're sort of like Mars colored, right? Mm-hmm. So I was like, what if I made a space movie that was like, I could film it like in sort of like the hills, and I wanted to set it on Mars. So I started coming up with some ideas. My original idea was to make. I'm actually interested in the Apollo program, and the Apollo missions to the moon in the 1960s and 70s were pretty risky, and there was a chance that the astronauts could get stuck on the moon and not be able to return to Earth.
Right.
That luckily didn't happen. But my original idea was, what if we made a movie? What if I made a movie about what would happen to an Apollo astronaut if they got stuck and marooned on the moon? But then I was like, wait, I want to make this on Mars so I can sort of film it like up in the hills. And I decided, okay, what if we have an astronaut who is stranded on Mars and can't get back home? And so originally my idea was I was just going to have like a very like depressing ending where the astronaut was going to die on Mars. And then my dad was like, Rudy, nobody likes those kind of endings. You got to have a happy ending.
Right.
So
Not always, but did you film it here?
Did
you film it here?
I did film it here.
Yeah.
I filmed it at Fort Funston.
Nice.
With Jordan, who's in this room right now, helping out with the meeting.
Yes. Hey.
And I originally devised the movie back in 2020.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And then I started making it, lost interest, worked on other projects.
Right.
It was really long. It covered like a whole notebook and a half of storyboards.
Wow.
And around the year 2022 or 2021 in December, I was like, okay, I want to make this Martian Odyssey movie. My original vision is just, I can't make like a 2-hour film. That's beyond my capabilities at the moment. So I said, I'm going to take the most important parts of the movie and condense them down. And so then in 2022, I spent a year making the whole movie.
Wow.
And it's about 5 minutes long. And I think it turned out incredible.
And we have a trailer of it, right?
We do have a trailer.
Can we go ahead and roll the trailer
Let's
of it?
roll the trailer.
That's awesome. I can't wait to see it. Martian Odyssey. awesome.
Very cool. I like the
nice.
music. The music's great. It reminds me
Yeah.
of Star Wars, or
The
something
mix,
like that.
everything. It was very
Yeah.
epic.
Yeah.
Really
Thank
epic.
you.
Good job.
So
Amazing.
where can we view this movie? I think.
So yeah, this movie
Yeah.
is
Yeah.
premiering at the Sacramento
good.
International Film Festival.
Right?
The specific segment of that film festival it's premiering in is the 48 Hours in Sacramento Gems.
Okay.
And that's
Sacramento.
happening at the California Railroad Museum in Old Town Sacramento on August 19th. It's going to be shown with a bunch of other films.
Okay.
And it goes from, the whole event goes from 11 a.m. to 1:25 p.m. And my
Okay.
movie's going to be part of it.
That's so
That's
exciting.
awesome.
I want to
Great.
go. I definitely want to go. Is it
Yeah.
open to the public, right? Or do you have to be a member of anything to be able to at least come? Who votes? I guess was going to be my question. Who votes for whoever's going to win each category?
You know, I don't know, but you can probably find
Oh,
more
okay.
information by going
Great.
to californiafilm.net
Okay.
and get in touch with Martin Anaya. He's
Okay.
the director of the California Film Foundation.
We
and I'm
know
sure
Marty.
He can answer your questions.
Hey,
That's
Rudy,
awesome.
you do so many things. What's your favorite thing to do?
You know, I think my favorite changes
Mm-hmm.
from time to time. Sometimes I'm like more interested. I want to do a late night talk show. Sometimes I want to draw a comic strip.
Yeah.
Sometimes I want to make a movie.
Okay.
Um,
A lot of
know,
everything.
I do have a personal favorite in that maybe it's not always my most favorite thing to do because I have a bunch of different favorite things to do and I can't just choose one.
right.
But
right.
I think the best thing
I
I've
want
ever
that
come
too.
up with is Crazy Chickens. It's my
That's
comic
Chickens.
strip.
I was waiting for
Okay,
that. We
okay.
were talking chickens just a little bit before.
Okay, tell me about it.
I
Tell me
came
about
up
it.
with the comic strip around 2011,
Okay.
and it follows the lives of four anthropomorphic chickens and an anthropomorphic rooster.
What does anthropomorphic mean?
So it basically means like animals that behave like people. So like they talk, they
neat.
walk upright.
Like
Okay.
Foghorn Leghorn.
Yeah. Yes.
How about his hen? Do you have any
I'll say
hens?
son.
You know?
I do actually have chickens. I have a few chickens at home. I have a
Oh,
poppy
you
seed.
do? Yes.
I have a couple other chickens, but
They're named Poppy Seed.
one of them's named Poppy Seed, and I'm
Oh.
blanking on the other two.
Blake.
Oh,
Okay,
I'm
you
blanking.
guys strayed from
you're
you guys
blanking.
strayed
Okay.
from the comic strip.
Oh yeah.
Go back to the what is that about?
So it's about these chickens that live in 21st Street, Florida. I was
Okay.
originally inspired to create the comic strip by reading this book called from Gordon Corman called "The Chicken Doesn't Skate."
Okay.
It's about a person who brings in a chick as a science project, and they're gonna butcher the chick at the end.
Oh.
But the class gets really attached to the chick, and they try and like kidnap the chick and stop him from being like turned into chicken nuggets.
Okay. So they saved the chicken.
Eventually, the chicken turns out to be saved, so it's a happy ending. But one of the characters in the book is a screenwriter.
Okay.
And that inspired me to create a movie called Chickens vs. Aliens, which had
Wow.
the comic
Oh,
strip
wow.
characters, Hale, Daisy, Poppy
Oh, wow.
Seed, Flower. And
Okay.
you're noticing my real chicken is named Poppy Seed
Yeah,
too.
yeah.
And the whole way I came up with Poppy Seed's name is I had a chicken a while back called Poppy, who I always called Poppy Seed.
Okay.
And then I named one of my comic strip characters in the movie I was working on, Chickens
Right.
vs. Aliens, Poppy Seed. And then I named the new chicken after the comic strip character.
So he's actually Poppy the Third.
You could say that, definitely, yeah.
Yes.
It's really cool. It's his legacy.
And around 2011, I took the screenplay, which I hadn't finished, and turned it into a comic strip.
Okay.
And I sort of decided to draw that. I originally drew the characters a lot more like actual chickens. But when I was making the comic strip, I wanted to figure out how to make them sit on a couch. So I kind of drew them more like Garfield, and that's how they turned out the way they are today.
So they're like static when you do that type of media, right? Like doing a comedy.
A comic strip?
Is that for print, like you see in the paper kind of thing? It's not anything animated, right?
Well, sort of.
Oh,
I do
okay.
a comic strip, which I post to my website,
Oh, great.
www.crazychickens, CHIKENZ.com.
Okay.
And I
Okay, great.
also,
Chickens.
Crazy chickens.
definitely.
Okay.
Well, I'm all about the chickens.
Yep. We quack like chickens sometimes. Yep. So that we didn't even have. That's great. There's
Are you
even
gonna
more
play
things.
the piano for your chickens movie?
Well, he does on his
Chickens
show.
versus-
So
versus
tell us
aliens.
tell everybody about your
The
your
PCT
show, The Daily Report.
So yeah, the Daily Report. Back in the summer after 8th grade, I did a video production class with Pacific Coast TV at the Ted Adcock Center in Half Moon Bay.
Okay.
And I got together with a guy named Edian and another person who ended up filming the whole thing.
Okay.
And we sort of did a comedy thing. Edian would be the Marcus Fartskin, the TV reporter. And I would be the host of the. That was the name he came up with. It was pretty funny.
I love it.
And I was the. Oh, what were you saying?
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't want to cut you off, but how did you come up with the name for your show, The Daily Report?
Yeah.
So I originally hosted the Late Show because I was a fan of Stephen
That
Colbert.
resembles that format. I thought I was
Yeah,
thinking of Carson and
Yeah.
Jay Leno and
Right.
you did a good job of that. It looked a
Thank
lot
you.
like it. The format. Yeah.
So I hosted the Late Show at the Ted Adcock Center class,
Okay.
and then once I got home, I was like, I want to keep doing this. So I said, I need a new, more original title.
Okay.
So I thought and I thought and I thought, and I came up with all these ideas. I was like, you know what? I can't come up with a particularly original title that I'm satisfied with. So I
Yeah.
took my two favorite shows at the time, The Daily Show with Jon Stewart
I love that show too. Yeah.
and The Colbert Report, and
Perfect.
combine them into The Daily
Perfect.
Report.
Okay.
Good idea. Well, that's perfect. Now that makes sense. Now I get it.
And you play the piano. Do you play the piano for
does.
Every show?
Yes, I actually do.
Yeah.
Sort of. There's two shows. I used to do it on YouTube, and sometimes I would play the piano, and sometimes I wasn't. I wouldn't. But then I started interning at PCT,
Right?
and I thought, and I realized, hey, you could make a whole professional television show at PCT. This doesn't have to be in the shed I built in my backyard.
Right.
I could go and do it in a professional television setup. So then I started doing the Daily Report at PCT.
And how long have you been playing piano?
I've
'Cause
been
I thought you
playing
played
piano
really well.
since I was 5 or 6.
Wow. No kidding. So are you sight reading when you're playing on your show? I noticed you usually have the sheet music, but I thought that's really good.
I do generally use sheet music. I probably
Right.
could memorize it, but I like to have it in front of me just so I don't have to worry about that part of the performance.
Well, it's hard to do and to sing while you're doing it as well. It's like rubbing your head and patting your belly. It's
You
hard
know,
to do.
yeah.
How do you select the guests for your show?
Well, I just think about who would be interesting to talk to. Like, um, the way I got my first guest, Robbie Bancroft, was I saw one of his shows, Robbie's World on Pacific Coast TV on their page or their group,
Right.
Facebook group or something, and I
Right.
thought, hey, this guy is like a pretty good talk show host. I'm impressed with his conversational abilities and his sense of humor, and I thought, hey, another thing I figured out is that he's very well known in the community. He's done a lot of things, and a lot of people like him. And I thought, if I'm going to do the first episode of the Daily Report on PCT, there's no one who's more perfect for the being the first guest than Robbie Bancroft. And it was. He came on once, and then I did another episode, and then a third episode he came on again, and we just really clicked. We were really we had a good conversation.
Great. And how many episodes do you actually have?
Yeah.
So we've just wrapped production on the 4th episode,
Cool.
like 5 or 6 days ago.
And where can everybody access it? Where do they go to access it?
So if you want to see old episodes, you can go to the Pacific Coast TV YouTube channel,
Okay.
and there's a playlist which has the old episodes on it. Or you could even check out my YouTube channel,
Okay.
the Daily Report channel,
Nice.
which has episodes of the Daily Report, and it has other videos I've done.
Okay, so is that your media home? The home of all of your different projects that you do?
That's the home of like my video projects.
Right. So what do you think about technology and kind of what everybody's using to, whether it's streaming, digital? What's your take on all that?
Well, I do feel like now with streaming, you've opened up, in some ways it's bad, because I think you're really crippling the film industry. Like there's less shows, there's less movies going to like theaters, and more they're
that's
saying,
true.
okay, let's go stream it.
Right.
Which as a filmmaker myself, I feel kind of like disappointed by that, because I feel like the best way to watch a movie is in a theater, and of course
Right.
that's every filmmaker's dream, to have their movie screened in theaters.
Now
Right.
people are doing home theaters. I noticed a lot of people with projectors in their house. I have one myself, and
Right.
the big screen pulling down their living
Right.
room or on their wall and
Right.
stuff like that. So
Well, and all the production that goes into that. I mean, that's actually why they're striking right now, right?
Yeah,
Right? I mean,
for various reasons. Yeah.
Yes.
I don't know all the reasons, but I do know that a lot of people are striking because they're afraid AI will replace their jobs.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's amazing, and they're able to just do more for less.
Yeah,
Unfortunately.
that's unfortunate.
So where do you hope to go? Where do you hope to go after you get your
Where do you
finish your
foresee
degree?
your future
Yes.
with film and with your show and all of that?
Well, I have a variety of ideas. I'd like to be a late night talk show host. And I do think the one thing, while streaming kind of detriments the movie industry, I
Yes.
think it opens up a lot more for the late night talk show industry. Because if I was in the 70s or 80s, I'd be basically screwed. Johnny Carson was the only late night talk show host. Anyone who went up against him never did particularly well.
Right. Yeah.
And there was only 3 networks, so you had limited choices of who could get a late night talk show.
Yeah, now anybody
Right.
can. Well, plus, long play, like podcast long play right now is on the uptick. Everybody loves those. People are like 2.5-hour conversations. That's a long time. That'd be a long time
Yeah.
for us to be sitting here talking. I don't know.
I know. That's why our show is so short. I
Right.
feel like people check out anyway. You know what I mean?
Kind of, but that's why it should be a variety, like he does with the music
Yeah.
and all different types of things.
Definitely. Well, I love variety. And what other musical acts do you intend to have? Or
Yeah, what else are you going to do with
What
that
else?
show here at
Yeah.
PCT?
Well, obviously, I'm going to be playing. I've played some music on the show. I've done some pre-taped and some live to tape while the show's going on.
Cool.
But I also do want to bring in
you plan to get guests?
musical guests like
Yeah.
bands and stuff. I just have to figure out,
We'll come on the show.
Oh, you
Absolutely.
You do
We're musicians.
musical? You
Yeah.
Oh,
perform?
absolutely. Yes.
What kinds of music do you perform?
Well, I mean, I played with bands, lots of cover bands and things, but then I play piano.
I'm
and
a
flute,
singer.
and she sings, and
I've
I play
done
drums. We play together.
backup singing for different bands and backup dancing.
And you were drumming at my house the other night.
I've played drums since I was young, and I play bass now.
That's right.
So
I put a bass in her hand, and I
Yeah.
said, "Just do this."
yeah,
She's like, she just kept doing it, and
I
then
just
finally,
do it.
I ran over to the drum set, and next thing you know,
Yeah,
we wrote a song.
we like to switch back and forth. It's
Yes.
fun.
Do you do
Yeah.
any writing, music writing, or play any other instruments besides piano? Or
I used to play
Jam?
drums and percussion in band, but it's been a long time I've done that. I do some sort of. I can come up with a few melodies
you
on the
jam?
piano.
but do you jam?
But do you jam?
That's the question.
There is times where I
We
just
need
sit,
to
out,
know.
sit on the piano and just like start playing stuff, and that's fun.
Yeah.
Isn't it? I agree.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
fun to do with other people too. That's what we
Yeah.
try to encourage.
That's what we want.
Well,
for
and I was going to
people
ask you too then,
is-
like the musical parts of your projects, because they all end up needing music.
hmm
So where do you turn to for that?
Well, a lot of times what I've done in the past, especially with my movies and with my show too, is I'll provide the music. Either I'll find some music that someone else already wrote and play that. Often I play a lot of music that I'm a fan of, like Elton John, Queen, and stuff.
Great.
Sometimes I'll try and come up with my own music, and while I do feel like musical composition is not my strong suit, I think I've been able to come up with some good stuff over the years,
Sure.
including the theme to my late night talk show. I actually wrote that.
Oh, did you?
It's sort of based off the Colbert theme, where it goes.
Oh, okay.
It uses a similar chord progression on the bottom, and I take the first 2 notes of the Colbert theme, but then I just went off in a completely different direction.
Well, there you go. It's all yours.
Yeah, and it was. It
There's
was
no
sort of
copyright infringement. There's only 2 notes are the
Exactly,
same.
exactly.
Yeah, that's good. Well, that's fun.
That's creative. You're very creative.
Yeah, man,
That's
he's all over
awesome.
the place, this
Yeah.
guy.
Wow. So, what else is going on in your life? Like, what else do you do? Don't you do something with the church, right? Are you a very religious person? Spiritual?
I would say that I have some amount of religion in my life, but I don't want it to take over my entire life. I just
Yeah.
think the church I go to, it's part of my life, and then
Okay.
the other stuff is part of my life too. But I do like live streaming the church service,
Yes.
and there's a whole story about how
Oh,
that
wow.
happened.
Okay.
So basically, I've gone to St. Edmunds. My family brought me here since I was a kid, so I know the church. I've been there a long time.
Okay.
And my dad was trying to, the vicar there, Kathy Crary, or the vicar there at the time, Kathy Crary, she's since retired,
Okay.
was trying to get me to film the church service because they knew I was interested in video stuff.
Right.
And so
Oh, okay.
I filmed a few of the sermons, never really did much with it. And then about a week before the COVID lockdown and everything, we didn't know everything was going to shut down. We just knew there was this virus out there. And they were like, hey, could you film the sermon? Because we have some people who are,
that's how it started.
maybe immunocompromised or can't be at
Yeah.
church because
Right.
of the virus. And we want to be able to have them to watch from home.
Yeah.
So I
But the
filmed.
streaming was live, right? So that makes a difference, doesn't it?
Not at that time. I hadn't figured out live streaming yet. I was
Okay.
videotaping it. I put it on YouTube.
Right.
So I record the sermon, put it on YouTube, and then a week later, everything shuts down. No one's going to church anymore.
Right.
Yeah.
So they're like, hey, can you do what you did for the sermon, for the entire service? I was like, sure. They're like, we'll pay you. And I'm like, sounds good.
That's awesome. So it was just you and how many people were in the church? Just
It was
2 people?
It was me, the vicar Kathy Crary,
Right.
Douglas Pleasure, and Ruby Pleasure,
I like that
and my
name.
dad.
Yeah.
And we would just get together. We would record the service. I would edit it and then put it up on YouTube. It was only
Cool.
after we got back that I ended up changing to doing it live
I see.
instead of taped and post later.
Got it.
So you are a part of this community,
Yeah.
and you've grown up here. You're a native, Pacifica native.
Lived here all my life,
Me
yeah.
too. So I love Pacifica. So
Well, I noticed
yeah.
your last name, like in the credits at the end of even your show. There's another Evenhouse. Who is that? I can't remember what the first name is, but there's only 2 names in the credits. So I was wondering who that other person was.
So Georgia Rudy Evenhouse is my mom.
Okay.
I brought her in to hold up cue cards.
Cool.
Okay.
Because I was
Awesome.
short on staff for my show when I first started. I think I first started, we only had a few people in there doing like a bunch of different jobs.
Right.
And then the things would go wrong, and I'm like, great, I gotta bring in more people now. Otherwise, you can't do this with a
How
strict
many
Right.
people
crew.
do you have now working with you in your show?
So the last show, we had like 12 people there.
That's a big
Wow,
crew.
that's a good
That's quite a
crew.
crew.
Do you ever have live audiences?
I have a few people who've come
Okay.
to watch, but I've never had a really big audience.
Mm-hmm.
Part of the issue is I feel like the more people I invite to watch the show live, the less people who, would watch it for the first time on TV.
Right.
But I would like to have a live audience, a big one at some point. It just hasn't really happened yet.
Okay, well maybe that's part of your future.
Maybe
Yeah,
it is.
yeah.
Yes.
See, that was a rhetorical question, wasn't it? We just wanted to say that again. What's up next? What are you doing next?
So next, obviously Martian Odyssey, I'm going to premiere it at the Sacramento International Film Festival, but I'm
Great.
also trying to show it on PCT as
Okay.
part of a larger show, which will have Mars jokes, and I'm trying to get my former astronomy professor at College of San Mateo to come on the show and talk about the movie. But there's all sorts of stuff.
So
you
you'll
have to
do you'll do the daily report focused on your movie.
Yeah,
Great idea. Okay. Cool.
and so
when do you plan on doing that? Soon? I
so I'm
assume?
gonna try and do it after the Sacramento film premiere.
Okay.
So sometime in late August. I don't know
Great.
if I'm going to get the professor there, but if not, I'll have someone else, and we'll just talk about the movie. And yeah,
Right.
it'll be great.
That sounds awesome.
Did we already go over like when your show airs on PCT?
So I don't really have
we may not have. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't have
There-
a set time slot like
Okay.
weekly.
No.
Okay.
It generally airs on Sundays at 7:30
Well,
p.m.
there we go.
Okay.
But since I only have done a few episodes, it's not every
Yeah.
week.
Okay.
There will be, if you want to go to PacificCoast.tv
Mhm.
Okay.
and you can subscribe to their newsletter.
Mhm.
You'll be notified when
Sounds
the next
good.
show's coming up. It'll probably be in a few weeks. We're gonna air the one.
And
with
I have a
Tuesday
question.
Night
How
Show.
long does it take you to prep a show and actually get it out the door?
It takes quite a bit. There's always like a few weeks beforehand where I'm like throwing stuff together, writing, putting together the script. And then I get in there and I'm like, oh crap, there's all this other stuff I have to do.
Right.
So I'm like,
Yeah.
everyone's setting up. They're like,
So is it weeks, a month? Is it?
it
how
can
long
be
from when
depends
your
on.
planning phase to when it actually wraps.
It generally, because even when I haven't like scheduled time in the studio, I'm coming up with ideas for new shows.
Right.
So it can take months of preparation. Not that I'm prepping all the time, but that I'm
Right.
from the start of the idea to actually doing the show.
Yeah. When do you have time for all this other stuff?
I find time.
You
Yeah.
must. It's amazing. It's really cool.
We didn't talk about your friend, but you're working with your best friend, and
Mhm.
I know we're gonna probably wrap up the show. Tell us a little bit about your best friend, real quick. Where'd you meet her?
So I met her in my tutorial class at Oceana High School, And I was showing another movie I made called Star Wars: The First Lightsaber.
Mhm.
And after it was done, she came and said, "Hey, I'm an actor. I like making movies too. You want to make films together?" So I was like,
Cool.
"Sure." And
That's fun. You
we were-
have your mom, you have your best friend.
Yeah.
You have
That's awesome.
all your
You might as well get the whole
buddies,
family
you
involved.
know.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
awesome.
Well,
Well, let us know. We'll come help.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you know,
It's exciting.
I love to
It's
have you
fun.
perform on my show. That might be cool because I have
Put us in a spacesuit. We want to be in a spacesuit.
You want to bring a spacesuit and come? You're more
We
than
would
welcome
love to.
to.
I'd like a chicken suit
Yeah,
designed for me.
there we go. We'll be chickens in space.
Chickens in space.
There you go.
All right, let's take advantage of our
Okay.
last minute that we have
All
on the
right.
show here.
Yes.
Make sure that we have the contact information and where to watch your show.
Once again.
One more time. So let's
Yeah.
go over.
Okay.
Yes.
So, premiering my my
Show.
Sacramento. Oh, my show. Yes.
Yeah.
So you could watch it on the Pacific Coast TV YouTube channel.
Great.
You can watch it on the Daily Report channel.
Okay.
And when you see there's a new one coming up, it'll be available on Pacific Coast TV channel 26 and channel 27,
Perfect.
and on
Good.
PacificCoast.tv streaming.
And your movie.
My movie will be at the Sacramento International Film Festival on August 19th. It's showing in the
Alright.
show from 11 a.m. to 1:25 p.m.
Okay. Well, it has been literally an odyssey to
So
get to
great.
meet you.
So great to meet you. We look forward to watching your show, possibly
Yes.
being on your show. Thank you
Yes.
for being on our podcast.
Yeah,
You're
great
welcome.
to meet you.
Yes.
Looking forward to seeing all this. Good luck.
Thank you.
Good luck
Yeah.
on the film festival. So this is Jamstalkers.
Yep.
You're rocking
We're talking
and Jamstalking.